Hey everyone, we're back. Today we are going to be talking a hot topic, which will be back to school, which is soon for her kiddos. But first we want you to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube page so that you can make sure that you tune into all of our videos.
Yeah, you can find that link in our bio on Instagram.
And on Facebook.
And on Facebook.
Yeah. And on YouTube.
And on YouTube.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Yes, we're new to this, so
we're learning.
We are learning a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway,
okay,
are you going shopping with your kids?
I am. They're super excited.
What's on this list this year? Is it smaller?
School supply list?
Yeah.
Okay, so with my kids, I don't normally go off of the list right away because what I find, so I have a high schooler, sophomore, and a 7th grader. What I find is that I go get everything and then they go to school and then the teachers need different things or more things. So I keep going back to the store. And so what I do now is I send them with a notebook and a pencil and a pen. And I say, get through all your classes, you get your syllabus, and we'll figure out what each teacher needs. So I'm not doing school shopping in that aspect, but we will be going clothes shopping, and this weekend is tax-free, right?
Oh, it's going to be a zoo.
Oh, I know, but it's fun. It's fun shopping.
So
they're looking
kids
forward.
are going in person.
Yeah, so my kids are going in person, and the last time we did this video, we talked about making the decision of if your kids will do online or if they will go in person. But when we did that video, we didn't have a date yet. We didn't know when the kids were going back.
We were actually thinking that they might be going back 2 weeks later from their original start date of the 11th.
Well, so newsflash, they're going back a week from tomorrow, right?
Today. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
What is today?
I don't know. Wait, no, they're going back August 11th.
So what happens when you're in quarantine? You don't even know what day of the week it is. It's Monday. It's Monday.
It's Monday. So, but I think they're going back on the 11th, which is a Tuesday, I believe. Okay, so anyway, they're going back on the 11th. Whether it's the Monday or Tuesday, we'll figure that one out. But, so now I was like, oh, okay, so what do we need, you know?
Yeah.
And so, of course, they want to go clothes shopping or they need new sneakers or whatever. But they're really excited, actually, which I'm happy about because I think they're really craving that kind of back to normal, whatever that's going to look like in school, back to normal, seeing their friends, kind of aspect of school. That
were you surprised by the decision, like locally? So I don't have kids going to grade school anymore. Were you a little surprised? Did you think they'd do in person or all virtual? Like what were your kind of
so I thought they would offer, you know, what they did, which was great, because everybody's needs would be different.
Sure.
But I didn't, you know, because I thought I thought it was going to be delayed. So I was like, whoa, okay, so I don't have anything, but that's fine. You know, we'll just figure it out. Send them with their notebook. Yeah, oh yeah, it's not like they don't have clothes or sneakers that fit, but they like their new stuff, you know, so, but they're really excited about it. So when I was deciding whether I was going to send them back in person or we were going to do online or just kind of, we didn't have a lot of details, you know, so I was kind of like picturing what it would be like for them to go back. You know, I was focusing on kind of like what I was thinking. And then I just remember thinking, wait a second, like, how do they feel about it? I should probably ask them. They're old enough, you know, like, how do you want to go back? And both of them were like, yes. Like they were just
kind of like the kids that wanted the graduation experience in person.
Right. And so we've since had that graduation. And I think that even though it was delayed, it was so great for them just to have that closure, you know, finally closing that chapter. And moving on to their next thing, whatever that is. But for the kids going back to school right now, I just feel like, it's so important for me to remember to ask them.
Yeah, I think we've heard a lot from, you know, local leaders and health professionals and teachers.
Oh, and parents.
But that's awesome that you talk to your kids about it because they have a voice.
Oh, they have a voice, and I want to know what they're feeling because even when they do go back, it's going to look a little bit different.
Or a lot.
Yeah. But I think that it's important to just ask them, like, hey, how was it? You know, was it what you thought it was going to be? Is it much different? You know, just to have that open dialogue and allow them to have that emotion with it, whether it's good
What
or
about
bad.
are their friends going back?
I think mostly, yeah.
Mhm.
I think there's some that aren't right now. I think they're waiting. But for the most part, I think they are. They're all
I can
going
imagine
back.
some parents might kind of wait and see how things go, you know, if
Yeah,
cases pop up in
Sure.
schools and what's the protocol and how do they handle it. So there
Right.
could probably be a lot of parents that are just kind of going to wait. And,
well, I'm wondering that too, kind of.
Yeah.
Like what happens, you know, kind
Yeah.
of thing. But for us and for our family and the kids, what they want, I just feel like we just have to take that step and just kind of see what happens
Yeah.
and just kind of roll with the punches a little
Yeah.
bit and just
Yeah.
see. But yeah, they're super excited. And, but I think that the biggest thing for me during all of this was just having that conversation with them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what, they do want to go back. Like, this is not just about how I feel. I need to ask them. I need to involve them in that and their
Decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their
So,
education. I mean,
right. And there's so much more than just the aspect of sitting in a classroom. I mean, like,
oh gosh.
they miss their friends, just
Oh,
that
yeah.
interaction.
And you think about all of the people that mentor your children along
Oh,
the
yeah.
way, from teachers to administrators and coaches and guidance counselors. I
Mhm.
know with our youngest child, I mean, I'm so
Yeah.
grateful, you know, for the
Yeah.
wonderful community of adults who've just poured into him.
Right. Right. And so I think just this whole thing is just a learning experience.
Yeah. A
And
day at a time. We
a day
always
at
say
a time,
that, right?
Yeah, a day at a time. And I said the same thing to my kids. I said, we'll just take it day by day and we'll
Yeah.
just see what happens. And they got their schedule, well, sort of, but I think, you know, they kind of had their schedule. They weren't supposed to see it. You know, sometimes that gets on to focus
Yeah.
and then word gets around. So I know some of it's not correct or accurate right now, but
It could change.
yeah, it'll probably change a little, but just seeing the excitement of them talking about who's in their class, and I was like, wow, this is kind of feeling a little normal, which is nice, which is really nice. I passed the middle school and there's just tons of cars there because the teachers are back,
Mhm.
and I was just like, it just brought a smile to my face, just because, again, you go back to like, okay, is this kind of like normal? Is this is kind of what's supposed to happen
Yeah.
right now, right? We're supposed to see the cars in the parking lot and things starting and stuff. So, and going school shopping and all
Well, and
of
how
that.
exciting for your kids that you are, or that they are excited about going to school. I mean, I don't know
No.
that everybody says that. It speaks a lot to our community and,
Yeah.
and the schools and the district, you know, that our kids are,
Yeah, but
that our
I,
kids are in, that they want to be around their friends and around their teachers. And
right.
in
And-
that classroom environment.
Yeah, and so normally, I was thinking about that because normally my kids would be like, oh, summer's almost over.
Yeah. They've had a long
yeah,
time to
But-
have summer.
Right.
We live in South Florida, so, you know, it's warm here.
yeah, and
all the
so
time.
for them to be like, I'm so excited to go back to school, that's not normal for them to say. They would be like dreading the countdown to when summer was over. So again, that just makes me know, you know, I just know how much they are just really wanting to feel kind of back to normal. So yeah, so I think, you know, just having that open dialogue with them was really important for me, to understand their aspects of their feelings on it all. So it was good. It was good to talk to them, and I told them, I said, well, just talk, you know, they keep asking me questions. Well, what about this? Well, what about that?
You're
And I'm
like,
like, I literally have no idea. I said,
Yeah.
but we'll just take it day by day, you know? So yeah. So it's
What
good.
about your first year college student?
Yeah, so he will be home, you know. We didn't really go into it, but the school that he was supposed to go to is in upstate New York, and in one email they, you know, basically told him, sorry, you know, you're from Florida and you are on the list of states that can't come in, although the governor does say you can quarantine. The school just, they cannot, they have so many kids from out of the state that they can't keep track. They can't keep track of who's quarantining and who's not.
Well, I
so
imagine Texas is probably, because we're all considered hot spots.
yeah, so
at
Texas is a big
moment.
one, California, yeah. And so that was really disappointing for him. But then of course we had to shift gears a little bit, and his season, he was going to play soccer there. His season was canceled, so I think that kind of helped him, but that disappointment that he felt was really hard for him, and again, I allowed him to feel that disappointment because I think it's just part of growing up.
And it's part of their development.
Yeah.
I will say, with this group of kids, all ages, they're going to be very resilient. We talk about that a lot because everything that we kind of took for granted that we just had, like our kids going to school or our kids just going to work or our kids going back to college or all of those things look really different. I was at a graduation party last weekend for one of McGuire's friends who's going away to UF, but he's going to live in the dorm and do school virtually because they're not doing in-person classes, and his roommate is going to stay back home and do virtual at home and not live in the dorm. So, everybody's having to make these really difficult decisions right now.
Which again just tells me that they are seeking so much normalcy. They had this picture in their head. A year ago, they were looking at colleges. They were doing their essays for colleges. They were applying, and not in a million years did they think that they would be making...
Nor did we.
Right, nor did we, that this would actually be happening, So they are just craving that normalcy. So they're taking online classes, which they could stay home, but they just want that college feel, Christian can't do that right now, but
you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think once a lot of these schools get back in, they're going to learn a lot.
And so, he went through the disappointment. We all were disappointed. I was so sad for him. Like, my heart broke for him. But my personality is kind of like, okay, so we can't sit here and dwell on this. We kind of need to have these feelings, but then kind of figure out what's our next step. Yeah. And so how we deal with it. And we did. And so then he found out that the soccer was canceled for the fall. And I think that did make him feel better because he wasn't going to miss out on the season.
Because that's his thing. That's his thing.
Yeah, I always say that. He's not going to school for an education, he's going to play soccer. So, and the education comes second to him, not to us, but to him.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think it's important, and we talked about it. I was like, so like, how are you feeling right now? And as soon as he found out that it was going to be canceled the season, he's like, I feel better just because I'm not going to miss out. So he'll do online. Another one of his buddies, same thing, but he was supposed to go play football somewhere, and same thing, got canceled, and so he'll be home with him. And so I think, there are a lot of people who are in the same boat, which I do think that helps, when you're having those feelings.
Sure.
Where
people understand what you're going through.
Yeah, and you can just share that with your friends and stuff, those feelings. But again, disappointment and just
so one home
figuring it
virtual
out.
and the other two back in person.
Cool. And so that's going to be interesting. I don't have my senior to drive my young one to school anymore. But he'll be here, so he can help with carpooling. Yeah. So that's a positive for him to stay home. But so I think it was important just to have those conversations, and I know that you have somebody that will be leaving soon.
Yes, I have one at home. So my oldest is on the 4.5-year college plan, so he will be home virtually this fall taking a hefty load. And then our youngest, which will be in the next episode,
we'll be talking more about that,
is leaving for Marine boot camp 2 weeks from today, now that I know that it's Monday. So, and which is looking very different than it looked when he started working with his recruiter last fall. So stay tuned for that. But we would love
we'll talk about it.
For all of you to share with us what you're doing, whether your kids are going to school or staying home, and how you manage all of that with work and family and other children and life, because life is happening at a rapid pace, and we're all in this together, learning
And maybe
supporting one another.
And maybe share what maybe your kids are feeling and the conversations you had, because it'll help others to maybe ask those questions that they weren't even thinking about asking their kids. And so I think that's important too. And honestly, you know, we kind of are in the same boat when it comes to this, and we could all just kind of help each other out.
And
you know, encourage each other, lift each other up during this really
weird,
unknown weird time. You know,
weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will see you next time. Like and subscribe to Alexis